Kaeya, Knight of Favonius. Please allow me to join you on your journey. Guarding you on your journey sounds far more entertaining than any of the usual Favonius stuff. I didn't know you were such a slacker. Seems all the other knights already have their hands full. Come on, let's get moving. We're not frozen in place after all. Cryo is always far more effective in the rain. This is going to get interesting. How about a ghost story to go with the snow? What's wrong? Can't handle the cold? What a pleasant breeze. I wonder how long it'll last. Seize the day. Hey, fancy joining me at the tavern for a bit? You're not scared of the dark, are you? That's interesting. Leaving already? See you next time, then. Don't make me wait too long, though. Is the Abyss Order causing you trouble? If there's anything bothering you, you know you can talk to me. If you ever need me, let me know. Let's not make this a transaction relationship. Oh? Well, if you're concerned about keeping things professional, maybe you can find more use for me on the front lines. How about it, boss? Just don't feel intimidated by what I can do. Still struggling with how visions work? Let's see, how can I explain it? The apparatus that allows us to see is our eyes. A vision is the apparatus by which we control the elements. Simple, is it not? Do you drink wine? Dandelion wine has a unique body to it. Oh, you're underage. You should try Mondstadt's apple cider vinegar. I know just the place. Have you ever seen the Owl of Dragonspine? If you look directly at it, it seems to see right through you, while letting go of none of its own secrets. Quite fascinating, don't you think? What? The acting Grand Master? You need to give her your full support. Oh, Lisa. You'd better not forget to return your books on time. I made that mistake once, and boy, was she angry. My arm is still numb from last time. That outrider is a clever and righteous knight. Be careful not to step out of line in front of her. Diluc? He was cute as a young lad, but nowadays he just seems to be in a world of his own. Overall, not much fun to hang out with. Klee. Seems she has failed to elude the acting Grand Master's investigative skills, despite the pointers I gave her. I'm kidding. No need to go reporting me or anything. Albedo, eh? Calm, collected, and incredibly talented. He's the type everybody likes. Some even more so than others. What, you into him as well? Have you tried one of Diona's drinks? Oh, right. You're still underage. Such a shame, it truly is, to not be able to revel with you in such bliss. I guess all we can do is wait for you to be old enough. Now that you mention him, it is a shame there is no one in the Knights of Favonius to inherit the Grand Master's approach to his work. I must say, I really do appreciate people like him. You think Fischl having one eye covered is very fitting given her title of Prinzessin der Verurteilung? If that's the case, that must also make me a descendant of some kind of former royal lineage, no? I was entrusted by the acting Grand Master to work in the background to support Noelle. But there hasn't been much for me to concern myself with. She has a good head on her shoulders. Quite the relief. Ah, you want to know about the secrets of Sister Rosaria. That I cannot tell you. Though my impression of her is not bad, certainly better than a certain someone whose name I won't bother to mention. She's honest with herself. She casts off that which she has no time for, and she doesn't feign motivation for affairs that do not interest her. Sucrose may not be much of an extrovert in public, but as they say, it's always the quiet ones. Apparently, her laboratory is home to quite the eclectic range of implements, and her experiments are more than just intellectually stimulating. All hearsay, of course. You don't seriously think I would go snooping around a fair lady's private quarters, do you? Oh, Kale. Oh, now there's a name I haven't heard in a while. You came to the right person. Let me tell you her whole story, starting right from the very beginning, with all the delicious details. When I first met Mika, he seemed like the nervous type, so I decided to joke around with him a little. I didn't count on that making him even more nervous. His smile looked as if it were plastered onto his face, and in the end, he even wrote me a letter of apology. Does taking everything so seriously run in the Schmidt's blood? The title of cavalry captain is nothing to get excited about. Now that I think about it, the Grand Master took all the cavalry from Mondstadt, so there's none left for me to captain. There are a total of 10 captains within the Knights of Favonius. But truth be told, not all of them have what it takes to be leaders. My eye? My eye is fine. There's nothing unusual about hiding one's body parts from view. It's the same reason I wear pants. Or any other item of clothing, for that matter. Kainria, huh? You sure know a lot. The legacy of Kainria is long gone. The sinners are all that's left, and they're not worth mentioning. I didn't realize we'd known each other for so long now. Time flies. You know, following you on your journey might just be the most fun I've had in my whole life. I hope it stays that way. Wine tasting is an art form. Mondstadt's wine is a gift from the Animo Archon. It's only right that one should learn how to appreciate it. Lonely? Me? Not with someone here nagging me all the time, that's for sure. Sparkling wine is a specialty of Mondstadt. Mix it with 3 parts dandelion wine, and the bitterness disappears completely. This concoction is known as Death Afternoon. Delectable. I can't believe that some people actually drink grape juice. If they had a little more patience, they would find it ferments into the most exquisite wine. So unromantic. Oh, this is quite exceptional. You are full of surprises. You should serve this with wine. It would really add the finishing touch. Ew. Oh, I'm just a slow eater. I'll finish it. Don't worry. Today is a day worth celebrating. I hope this day can bring you true happiness. Not bad. You always seem to be around to give me a hand. Thanks. Seems I'm getting stronger. I say, how is it you seem happier than me about it? We were just traveling partners. I never thought I'd have you to thank for getting me to this point. Seems I really should respond in kind. Let us carry on, partner. The road ahead is still long. Cool it! Freeze! Dodge this! Don't get frostbite. Oh, so sorry. This moment will be frozen in time. What's the hurry? Catch the wind. How fortunate. Fascinating. Quite the find. Time to fight back, I suppose. I'm getting tired of this game. You're getting on my nerves. I'll help out, but you owe me. Hey, don't die on me. That's no fun. I'm not done. That was unexpected. This doesn't look good. Don't push your luck. Oh, I'm looking forward to this. This will be interesting. Ready when you are.
Master of Inazuma Kamisato Art Tachi Jutsu, Kamisato Ayaka, present. Delighted to make your acquaintance. I only wish life could be as leisurely as this a little more often. How greedy of me. A blade is like a tea leaf. Only those who sample it many times can appreciate its true qualities. So this is a day in the life of the traveler. I'm learning more about you all the time. A blade embraces its duty, as a jeweler cherishes their gems. Come with me. Let us find shelter from the rain. Her Excellency, what is she trying to communicate? Snow that once adorned the world in silver thaws to reveal the gleam of the fruit upon frost-laden branches. How picturesque. Only some tea would make the setting more complete. There's a pleasant breeze and glorious sunshine. So, where shall we go for a walk? Close your eyes and face the wind. It feels wonderful, doesn't it? Oh, good morning, traveler. Whenever I see you in the morning, somehow it makes me feel like today is going to be a good day. Good afternoon. It is normal to feel drowsy after lunch. Might I interest you in a game of Go to stimulate the mind? Greetings. An auspicious breeze blows this evening. Tonight will be peaceful. Was it one's thoughts that drew him to my dreams? Had I known it a dream, one would not have awakened. I love that poem. Inazuma Shogunate, Yashiro Commission, Kamisato Clan. Widely known as one of the most distinguished clans in all of Inazuma, it is the branch of the Tri-Commission that manages ceremonial and cultural affairs. Since my parents passed, Brother and I assumed responsibility for all clan matters, big and small. Many look up to me as the Shirasagi Himegimi and as the daughter of the Kamisato clan. But the object of their respect has everything to do with my position, and nothing at all to do with me, Ayaka. It makes me think that maybe there is only one person I know who is truly able to get close to me. Today, as in the past, I aspire to be somebody whom everyone can trust. But what motivates me is no longer the responsibilities I shoulder, or the expectations of other people. Rather, it is the fact that you are this kind of person too. If you've got time, shall we take a walk to Komore Tea House? To chat about the art of tea on a pleasant day like this seems like the sophisticated thing to do. If I ever have the chance, I would very much like to experience the festivities of another nation with you one day. Though, I will need some guidance on local customs and etiquette, and advice on what gifts to bring. Could I trouble you to give me some guidance? Visions are a seal of approval for those who are most ambitious. As for my own ambitions, they shall remain private for now. It is nothing more than an insignificant dream. It is said that the flavor of Zen is that of tea, and it is also said that the power of Zen is that of the blade. One might then ask, what does that say about the relationship between tea and the blade? Have you ever noticed the withering sakura tree in the city? For me, there is a beauty to the withering. It brings back fond memories of the spring. Most people don't agree. Sakura trees that will never bloom again are removed. But when I look at a tree, all I want is to see it blossom again. Just one more time. Toma is a dear friend. He always lifts my spirits with his sunny disposition. In a sense, I think of him as another brother, and as a full member of the Kamisato clan. Kujo Sara of the Tenryou Commission is not known to smile, and I have had my fair share of disputes with her. She is, however, a loyal servant to Inazuma. There is no question about that. Mr. Shikanoin belongs to the Tenryou Commission just like Miss Kujo. He is very principled, sometimes even more determinedly so than Miss Kujo. The only thing is, when it comes to the question of which matters should be governed by his principles, I believe only Mr. Shikanoin himself knows the answer. Ah, little Sayu. She hasn't been causing you any trouble lately, has she? If you ever notice her slacking off, please let me know. The Almighty Shogun? It would be improper of me to comment, given that I am one of her subjects. All I will say is that I think that Her Excellency must get lonely on the road to eternity. To witness the Muso no Hitotachi, and lived to tell the tale is quite a remarkable feat. Even though I recognize her as our true deity with the power to change Inazuma's fate at will, if there is a conflict between the two of you, then I shall choose to side with you. I've always greatly enjoyed working with Gujiae. Organizing festival affairs generally takes a lot of effort and doesn't generate much income, but Gujiae's events always come off both elegant and profitable. As the head of the Kamisato clan, Brother always has a full schedule of places he needs to be. I do try my best to share his load, but there is no changing the pressure he is subjected to all year round, and the toll it takes upon him. If you see him, remind him to take care of himself for his sister's sake. The Yashiro Commission and the Shrine Maidens are responsible for festival affairs, and Yoimiya, as a fireworks expert, knows how to create an atmosphere. So we have become well acquainted with her over the years. Public order and fire prevention? We factor these concerns in well in advance during the planning stage. To deny people the chance to see fireworks simply for these reasons would leave them feeling very disappointed. Your request is quite unusual for me. Since I see you as a friend, it would only be fair to be open and honest with you. But if this means sharing secrets of the Kamisato clan, I would ask that you keep anything I tell you in strict confidence. The Kamisato clan once suffered a major blow when we failed to protect a swordsmith of national significance. We were harassed by the Fatui. We lost many of our people, and we received a great deal of criticism. It all aged Father greatly, and severely damaged the Kamisato clan's standing within the shogunate. Brother has worked tirelessly to reverse the trend since he assumed leadership. But although our clan's position is now restored, and the Yashiro Commission is unified once more, we still rely on Brother to make the decisions on all matters of any importance. The art of blade forging taught by the shogun varies based on astrology, application, materials used, the furnace conditions, individual personalities, and elemental changes. These differences between smiths is what gave rise to the Raiden Gokuden. Swordsmiths capable of forging renowned blades are seen as spiritual personnel with sacred abilities, and as such, they should be managed by the Yashiro Commission, which oversees all cultural, artistic, and ceremonial affairs. So naturally, the swordsmith's betrayal is the fault of ineffectual management by the Kamisato clan. My mother was the most incredible person. She was always so dignified and elegant, always smiling, no matter what situation she might be facing. She had so much to deal with in the clan on so many levels, but she took it all in stride. It was like nothing could ever faze her. Everything about her was perfect, and I say that without exaggerating. But the moment she passed away, I realized I couldn't hide behind my mother any longer. I wasn't little Ayaka anymore. What I want to say next is perhaps not befitting of a member of the Inazuma Shogunate, Yashiro Commission Kamisato clan, but unless I am mistaken, I trust that you will not take issue with this slight departure from convention on my part. That is to say, I'm a little tired. May I rest my head on your shoulder? Just for a moment. I have great affection for the arts. Music, song, poetry, shogi, and dancing. And you? Troubles? Well, I mean, that's life, isn't it? There will always be things that don't go one's way, but I do not wish to worry those around me on account of things that are my concern alone, so it is best if I keep them to myself. Openness is something I find very difficult. I constantly have to remind myself that as a lady of the Kamisato clan, there are countless people watching and countless expectations to live up to. I must be a model of exemplary conduct at all times. But even so, shouldn't I still follow my dreams? Shouldn't I share my true feelings with you? I'm fascinated by food from overseas, though I don't get to try it very often. So if I had to choose something from Inazuma, then probably Chasuke. But not when anyone else is watching, so I tell you that in confidence. Though I do not eschew animal fat and organs entirely, they are far from my first choice. Yes, I am truly fortunate. Thank you for the opportunity to try this dish. I will always savor it. It's a bit greasy for my taste. Come with me. We're not going far away. I promise it won't delay you too much. I managed to find out when your birthday was well in advance, so I could prepare in good time. Hopefully this wasn't assuming too much, but I guessed you might prefer this to an expensive gift. In honor of your birthday, please allow me to perform a fan dance for you. Thank you very much. It has been richly rewarding to learn from you so far, and I believe my skills with the blade can go even further still. Thank you for your guidance. With your assistance, I am gaining a more thorough understanding of my capabilities. I feel more competent now than ever before. I even have the time outside my work for the Yashiro Commission to try some new things. Would you like to try one of my homemade snacks? I just learned how to make them recently. Though I cling to that which has given me the strength to hold on, the weight of letting go is ever foreboding. My apologies. It should be a happy occasion, and yet it is such a sad phrase that comes to mind. Our time together has been so pleasant that I'm fearful of losing what I've gained. I'm sorry. I must compose myself. Take flight! My apologies! Whirling snow! Embrace the ice! Sakura swirl! Kamisato art! Sometsu! Collecting rare and exquisite treasures. Yes, this seems suitably sophisticated. Today is a lucky day. I shall treasure this good fortune. I will not stand for this! A worthy opponent. We ought to end this. Do not overdo it. Take care. Pardon my indiscretion. Much remains unfinished. I have dishonored our clan. So rude! Unthinkable! Kamisato Ayaka, present. I await your instruction. A pleasure to be working with you.
Greetings. Ayaka has mentioned you on numerous occasions. Alas, my schedule has been rather busier than anticipated recently, which belated our first meeting until today. Kamisato Ayato, head of the Kamisato clan. Delighted to make your acquaintance. I'm sure I've forgotten something. Not to worry, I'll simply send someone to fetch it. As soon as I remember what it was. Everything's in place and they've taken the bait. Yes. Now to start reeling them in. I have to stifle a smile every time I remember the look on my retainers' faces when I informed them of my plans today. Panic-stricken, but unable to muster the courage to say anything in opposition. Yes, this was a fine idea. Let's take shelter for the time being. Don't worry, one of my people will be here with umbrellas momentarily. Ayaka was always scared of thunder as a child. Until one day, Mother told her that the sound of thunder is the voice of the almighty Shogun. After that, she would start focusing intensely every time she heard the sound of thunder, as if, by concentrating hard enough, she'd be able to hear exactly what Her Excellency was saying. This view reminds me of another time it snowed. That was a long time ago. Opportunities to bask in the sunlight like this are few and far between. Sometimes what appears at first to be nothing but a passing breeze can ultimately be that which alters the course of events. Most people hunker down against a strong headwind. Only a few know how to utilize it to their advantage. Good morning. A little sword practice while the day is young is good for the body and mind. I tend to avoid having anything scheduled during these hours. What do you say? Fancy crossing blades with me? If there's anything in particular you'd like for lunch, just let one of my staff know in advance. As my honored guest, I'm sure they will do their utmost to accommodate you. Given the hour of your call, perhaps you might stay for dinner. Ready to retire for the night, are we? Yes, go on then, you are excused. I'm not tired yet, so... Oh, it's you. I have a few things to attend to. You should go and get some sleep. Everything comes at a cost. And if you aspire to things that most could never dream of, then, naturally, there will be an unimaginable price to pay. I'm no stickler for doing things in a certain way. Whatever method you use, the important thing is that it delivers acceptable results. I heard about the little job you pulled at the Tenryo Commission. Most entertaining. It takes a special kind of person to get old man Kujo riled up enough to start tearing his hair out. Oh, to have been a fly on the wall. Trusting another person isn't easy, especially for someone of high status. Place your trust in the wrong person, and it can quite literally cost you your life. But you have placed your trust in me, and of course, I will not let you down. A vision is an eminently useful tool, so it only makes sense to put it to good use. Also, I like to think it's happiest in my possession because it has the chance to shine away in all its glory. If you throw fallen flowers onto the stove, The searing heat infuses them with one final spark of vitality. And for a brief moment, they radiate a more glorious glow than the flames themselves. It was a short life they lived, but it was by no means a wasted one. When it comes to pets, yes, I'm definitely more of a dog person myself. Cats are very independent, which has its merits, but you'll only find obedience in dogs. They'll do whatever you tell them to. What can I say? I suppose I find loyalty to be quite an attractive quality. I am confident in Ayaka's abilities, but I want her to be able to hold on to her innocence. She shouldn't have to get personally involved in power struggles, or confront the darker side of life head-on. As her older brother, it's my job to shield her from all of that. Just between the two of us, of course. Sorry, that got a little more private, a little more quickly than I'd intended. There is no doubt in my mind about Toma's loyalty to the Kamisato clan. A long time ago, partly to see where he stood, I advised him that he would be better off leaving if he didn't want to get drawn into the never-ending disputes that plague public life. Still, he chose to stay. And in all the time he's been with us, he's spared me much worry. There are very few people I trust completely these days, but Toma is one of them. She looks awfully idle the majority of the time, and yet, when it counts, she always rises to the occasion and provides indispensable assistance. Of course, you'd know far more about that than me, wouldn't you? Ah, the fireworks store owner. Yes, a most spirited young lady. The Kamisato clan is on rather close terms with her. She is around the same age as Ayaka, and the two get along very well. I trust her direct and outspoken disposition won't lead Ayaka astray. Ayaka has always been staunchly true to herself, ever since she was a young child. The cost of pursuing eternity has been great for the almighty Shogun, and for all of Inazuma. These wounds will take time to heal, and, as someone with a mediating role to play in the political process, I will be sure to fulfill that which is required of me. Lady Guji has been kind to us in the Kamisato clan, but she has never quite taken to me personally. I trust you'll have heard the way she refers to me, the Yashiro rascal, and other such flattering monikers. We run into each other semi-regularly, given the overlap in our work, and despite whatever private thoughts we each may have, our working relationship is quite a harmonious one. I have no great objection to this state of affairs. Working with intelligent people always makes things highly efficient. In any case, however objectionable she might find me, she would be forced to admit that without me, she would have no one to help execute her weird and wonderful ideas. Old man Kujo capitalized on a golden opportunity to create a most formidable weapon indeed. The only flaw in his plan being he is no longer able to wield the weapon of his creation. Once upon a time, the Kaedahara clan was a subordinate branch of the Kamisato clan. My forebears may have failed to save his family from decline, but even today I have a duty to support him. Now, naturally there is nothing I can do to restore his clan's former fortunes. But as for helping him avoid arrest by the Tenryo Commission, That is well within my capabilities. Now he's an interesting case. Pitting docile Onikabuto against each other in battle. That's a first. I was only speaking in polite platitudes when I gave him that little pep talk, but to my surprise he started calling me bro. To this day, he calls me my bro Ayato without the faintest idea of my true identity. It's quite all right by me, though. I have nothing against his, unique character. I have heard a thing or two about how Her Eminence, the Tian Chuan, operates. On the subject, I also happen to have a limited edition copy of Liu A Millennial, if you're interested. What do you say? Shall I have someone fetch it so we can play a game? You want to know about me? Things aren't always a case of the more you know, the better. Plenty of proverbs to corroborate that, as I'm sure you're aware. Maybe we'll have the chance to talk more next time. Strange tastes, you say? You seem to misunderstand me. Let me be quite clear. Most of the time, I simply enjoy watching people's facial contortions when they're put in an awkward position. Watching them squirm, you might say. Is that so strange? I would have thought you tease your little friend here on a regular basis for precisely that purpose. No? The Tri-Commission may appear calm and well-run, but I can assure you it is quite tumultuous beneath the placid surface. There is no pleasure to be had in mixing with the powers that be. I shall spare you the details. Just know that I have never done anything to dishonor the Kamisato clan. Neither in the past when I was working to bring stability to our clan, nor here in the present where I am working for the sake of all of Inazuma. You want to know about the Shumatsuban? I suppose there's no harm in divulging a detail or two to you. It's a secret unit that reports directly to the head of the Kamisato clan. Accordingly, after my father passed, it came to me. There are certain situations I cannot directly involve myself in, and in these cases, being able to rely on the Shumatsuban is often instrumental in achieving a resolution. Most of its members are orphans whom we take and raise from a young age. This way, loyalty is guaranteed to the greatest extent possible, and we are spared a great deal of worry. Do I have other tricks up my sleeve beyond the Shumatsuban? Well, naturally, if even the cunning bunny burrows thrice, then what of the cunning human? But anyway, I've shared enough of my secrets. I think it's time I heard your story. Oh, and you can spare the part about traveling in Teyvat. Tell me about before that. Hobbies. I had one or two as a child, but these days most of my time is taken up by my official duties, so they don't count. Some people treat work as a hobby, you say? Oh, goodness me, how very exceptional. Troubles? Whenever something's troubling me, it must be dealt with, swiftly and comprehensively. And whenever someone is troubling me... Variety is the spice of life. In that sense, the milk tea medley they started serving over in Hanamizaka recently isn't half bad. You should try it sometime. Other than that, I don't have any particular preferences when it comes to the food I eat on a daily basis. I have dedicated staff to arrange my daily meal plan, and whatever they serve, I eat. You couldn't perchance tell me your own tastes, could you? Ah, I see. Okay, I've made a note of that. Now I know what to say the next time I get asked about it. It looks like I mixed up my salt and my sugar. Savory Mizumanju. Yes, this can work. I'll give them to Toma. Very novel indeed. It meets my requirements perfectly. I see. So, this is your take on this dish. Oh, here's a suggestion. Try using this dish in the hot pot game next time you play. Happy birthday. Now, how would you like to be Yashiro Commissioner for a day, All the work has been handled already, so you can focus on simply enjoying the feeling of having an enormous amount of executive power at your fingertips. Don't worry, the retainers won't dare question it. I'll be with you the entire time. Did I just grow more competent? Goodness, how marvelous. At the end of the day, power is only a source of comfort when it is concentrated in one's own hands. I'm sure certain people are starting to grow rather nervous right about now. I've had very few chances to kick back and put my feet up since taking over leadership of the clan. But things have felt curiously different since having you around. Yes, it feels rather like basking in the sun. Be still. Cascade. Mind the deluge. The depths beckon. Kamisato art. Suiyu. All yours, should you have any use for them. Oh, so you collect these? Yes. Very nice. This is getting interesting. All right, time to get serious. One of us has to go. Time to withdraw. Pace yourself before you erase yourself. But the plan was watertight. I'm feeling a little washed out. Such is life. That's far enough. I may have overestimated myself. What's that? Join you for a walk? Why not? Very well. I shall put my official duties to one side for the moment. Well, this ought to be entertaining.
I'm glad you gave me a chance. I always think it takes people with similar tastes to sustain a pleasant conversation. Nice to meet you. I'm Kaveh, an architect. If you have a project you'd like me to work on, then I'll need a detailed description of what you have in mind. The ability to appreciate beauty is an important virtue. It's good to get out and stretch your legs once in a while. People aren't made to stay cooped up inside all the time. My latest design's getting there, but there's still room for improvement. Better make my finishing touches before the deadline creeps up. Huh? When did it start to rain? Oh no, I forgot to bring an umbrella. Did you see that? That bolt of lightning was such an interesting shape. Feels like the wind's creeping in from the back of my shirt, and also the front. I get dizzy and sleepy when I'm under the sun for too long. It's a similar feeling to pulling an all-nighter on a work project. This isn't my first trek into the desert, but I can never get used to the heat. Is there no shade anywhere? Did you sleep well? I hope you have a great day today, and that you don't run into someone who ruins your day first thing in the morning. This midday sun is fierce. I should go check on the building materials I left out to dry. There's supposed to be a great view of the stars tonight. Don't you think that's a good omen? Relax your mind and let go of all your troubles. Have a good night. It's fair to say I'm a pretty proud person when it comes to my area of expertise. Most scholars are when talking about their chosen fields. After all, we build our whole lives around it. I mean, if I ever stopped taking pride in my own work, then I would also forfeit the right to have any expectations of myself or anyone else. Aesthetic isn't the #1 priority in my work, and nor should it be. Quality and safety are paramount. But I never neglect the artistic side either. That's what sets my work apart from others. You must have seen the Palace of Alcazarzaray before. That's my magnum opus. I sacrificed so much for that. Everyone else thought I'd lost my mind. Well, if you're not me, and you don't share my trade, I wouldn't expect you to understand. It'd be nice to meet someone who did understand, though. I've always thought that you can never truly know a person until you understand their deepest wishes. But once you start exploring hopes and dreams, whether they're your own or someone else's, it can be a dangerous journey. You might unlock something that can't be put away again. Not everyone can face the potential consequences of that. I almost don't want to say this out loud, but sometimes hopes and dreams bring suffering instead of happiness. Luckily, I don't mind my vision. People who know what drives them to create deserve our respect. Wouldn't you agree? The uninitiated often assume that the expertise of Ksharawar architects starts with clay and ends with lumber. It's such an ignorant perspective that it's not even worth arguing against. If all it took to build a house was to smoosh a few random materials together, there'd be no need for this discipline in the first place. As well as being one of the building blocks of human culture and civilization, architecture is also an art form. Art does not exist in a vacuum, so I've always been mindful of the experiential factor for the occupants, and the emotional character conveyed to those looking on from the outside. Oh, and I'm always looking for better ways to integrate artistic expression and practical functionality. Lesser Lord Kusanali is a wise and capable god. Not only is she extremely knowledgeable, she also possesses virtue far beyond mortal comprehension. I have only the utmost respect for her tolerance of others, especially in a nation of learning like Sumeru. That takes great equanimity. Sometimes, though, I do stop to wonder, surely even the gods must have their struggles too. Oftentimes, confusion is the beginning of wisdom, in which case, how can we ever achieve true happiness? I guarantee you'll never meet anyone else who's as infuriating as him. And for the record, yes, I would say that to his face. Sure, he's smart, and sure, geniuses often come with a bad temper. But that's only half the story with him. He knows perfectly well how to appear friendly and likable to others, he just doesn't want to. If he ever gives you the impression that he doesn't really have a temper, or that he's rigidly logical like a machine, then you just don't know him well enough yet. He definitely has a personality. It's just too big a personality. Most people wouldn't get it. Alhaitham helped me out a fair amount recently. If we were still as close as we were during our student days, then I'd be thanking him every chance I got. Now, though, I can't seem to get a word of appreciation out of my mouth. Even if I could, I wouldn't want to give him the satisfaction. I guess you could say our relationship is something of a mixed bag these days. Honestly, with everything that's happened, it almost feels like the universe has been playing pranks on us. It's hard to make sense of it all. Too much to process for one lifetime. I will say that it's not every day that you get to know someone like him. I just wish he could rein in some of the worst excesses of his personality. Okay, yeah, that's never gonna happen. Ah, Tainari. He's one of the nicest guys you could know. If you've met him, you'll know what I mean. He's kind, and he has enormous expertise in his field, but he never brags about it in front of other people. And he seems to genuinely care about his work. Back when I was building the Palace of Alcazarzare, I asked him for some tips on how to pick out the right ornamental plants. After he wrote back to me, he also helped me out with some other issues, too. Oh, and I almost forgot. He was the one who first introduced me to Sino. Dori is the owner of the Palace of Alcazarzare. Excuse me? Mine? Oh, no, don't be ridiculous. I know full well that it doesn't belong to me. I know, but... Oh, please, let's not go there. Dori is a shrewd one. She knows how to coerce others into doing things for her. For various reasons, I now owe her a large sum of money. It all got quite complicated in the end, but... Anyway, I wish she'd show me a little mercy and stop making my life a misery for the sake of Mora. I swear, she doesn't seem like a bad person at heart, so... I just don't understand. How did she turn out like this? Sino can come across as cold and ruthless, but he's actually a very big-hearted guy. I still remember how shocked I was when Tainari said he was going to introduce me to his best friend, and then a couple of seconds later, an incredibly intimidating Matra comes walking through the door. I honestly never expected to meet a Matra who's so comfortable hanging out with scholars. Gotta say, though, I can't stand his sense of humor. It really makes my skin crawl. If he ever invites you to a meal at Tainari's place, make sure someone's bringing beer, because no one should have to endure Sino's humor while sober. I've met Kale quite a few times now. As Tainari's student and assistant, she follows him everywhere. With her diligence and patience, she's much more responsible than most other kids her age. But, I can also tell that she's got a lot going on inside. Nilu's talent as a dancer is indisputable. Zubair Theater really lucked out when they recruited her. I've heard that she has a great personality, too. She always smiles and says encouraging things to her audience when she's performing. Once I can find some time, I'll have to catch one of her shows. Madame Farouzan doesn't mince her words, so I can understand why some students at the academia are afraid of her. She doesn't have any bad intentions, though. All she wants is to devote herself completely to the research that interests her. Some people say that all Haravatat scholars are hard to get along with, and, I'll let you be the judge of that. I assume she's already asked you to be her student? She sure is a little intense when she's doing the hard sell, huh? But she can walk the walk, too. She really does know her stuff. You heard that I've earned myself a little fame in Sumeru? Don't believe everything you hear. They're exaggerating, trust me. It's easy enough to make a name for yourself in Sumeru if you stick around here long enough. Honestly, I think managing to keep a low profile would be more of an achievement. I hope you didn't hear about me because of my bankruptcy scandal, though. If you're actually willing to hear me out, I could tell you about some of my more redeeming qualities. You're not thinking about enrolling in the academia, are you? Well, if you do sign up, from a pragmatic standpoint, I'd have to advise you to steer well clear of design. Don't get me wrong, it's a fascinating subject to study, but the work is brutal. I spent some time working under one of my seniors after I first graduated, and they worked me to the bone every day. I was constantly being ordered around like a pack animal. I really don't know how I survived for as long as I did. While everyone's aesthetic preferences differ to a point, beauty is, on the whole, a pretty concrete concept. I do think it's possible to establish some basic objective aesthetic standards. It's possible to improve your aesthetic appreciation, too, although it takes a lot of time to get the experience. If you ever need any advice on that front, by the way, you're always welcome to come to me. Some people think I like to stir up trouble, but they don't know what they're talking about. Anyone trying to make any sort of progress in life is inevitably going to come into conflict with other people from time to time. You can't just ignore the situation because you don't want to deal with it. I like to have a drink or two when I've got the time. It's a good way to de-stress. Oh, yeah, I mean, mostly just to pass the time. What's that look for? All right, I admit it. Maybe I do drown my sorrows a little more often than I was letting on. It all gets a bit too much sometimes, what with the unfinished projects, obstacles that I can't overcome, misunderstandings with other people. Don't you struggle with those kinds of things as well? Music, architecture, sculpting, painting, all are worth taking the time to appreciate properly. I wouldn't say I'm an expert in all of them, but as long as I stay interested, maybe I can master them all one day. I mean, look, I already know how to play an instrument. My troubles? The most obvious one would be my financial situation. It's not that I can't make more, it's just I can't seem to hold on to it. So many things in life require money, and if you're not careful, it just disappears. Don't worry about me, though. I'm a lot better than I used to be. I'll be more careful to live within my means in the future. My favorites are alcohol, warm soup, and anything with cream or cheese in it. Oh, and I'll never say no to fresh fruit. I can't deal with anything that's too hot or spicy. If I have to eat them, I leave them to cool first so I at least don't burn my tongue. This is marvelous! Can you teach me how to make it? I bet this would go great with a glass of wine. Huh? Uh, it's, Is it your birthday today? Well, congratulations! Birthdays are important days, and it's also one of those days in the year that gets you thinking about your family. However you spend today, I hope it makes you happy. This'll do nicely. Thank you. Got any more where that came from? My horizons have been broadened. I hope I can hold on to this feeling. The more power I wield, the more things I can accomplish. Even if achieving my goals comes at a cost, and even if all my hopes and dreams are built on pain and suffering, I don't want to turn back now. Scanning! Come at me! Sight clear! Watch and learn! Breaking new ground! Feast your eyes! A new discovery. What a lucky find. Bet that's made your day. This is incredible. No, extraordinary. How annoying. That was your last chance. Ugh, shoo! Leave this to me. Get behind me! So many things I never accomplished. Ugh, why? Don't crush my dreams. Hey! Cut it out! I've been through worse. Need a hand? I'll take care of this. Is that the client? Wait. Oh, it's you!
I am Keqing, Yuheng of the Liyue Qixing. We live in an era of change, as the old order that has existed for 1,000 years is about to be rewritten. Join me. Let us bear witness to this historical moment together. Come on, enough procrastinating. Let's go. I'm all for work-life balance, but I think this is pushing it. In adventuring, as in business, you always have to seize the opportunity while it's there. Quite a downpour. Nothing will get done until it clears. Let this be a lesson to those who yesterday said I'll do it tomorrow. Thunder and lightning can be quite frightening, but don't worry. Liyue's storm and fire defenses are second to none. Don't worry, snowfall on this scale is no impediment. We can keep moving. The sun is out. Our work's done for the day. Shall we take a stroll? Morning. Time to set the tone for the rest of the day. So if you're still feeling sleepy, shake it off. I'm not in the habit of napping at noon, but don't let that stop you if you're feeling tired. I'll give you a wake-up call in, say, 3 minutes' time. The lights are coming on now that the night is setting in. Another delightful day draws to a close. Sleep well. Me? I still have a handful of things on my to-do list, but I'll call it a night once they're done. If you feel strongly about something, you should speak up and take action. That's the philosophy I live by. My role is to manage real estate and construction in Liyue. Sure, Liyue is a vast place with abundant resources, but without proper planning, and if too much focus is placed on short-term profit, a great many things can go wrong. What do you think has kept Liyue going over the last millennium? Rex Lapis? I disagree. We mortals have to fight for survival whatever happens. He just feels the need to come down here and poke his nose into everything that's going on for some reason. People don't like to think about this, but should we really be trusting him to be an expert in everything? After I took on the management of so many of Liyue's affairs, I had a newfound respect for Rex Lapis and all his hard work over the last millennium. Recently, every time I come up against a difficult problem with no obvious solution, I find myself thinking, what would Rex Lapis do? Maybe he really is an expert in everything, and I've got more left to learn than I realized. You know why I like you? It's because you don't believe something just because it was said by a god. You make up your own mind. You ask the questions everyone else is too cowardly to ask. And when you don't get an answer, you keep looking till you find one. Oh, don't worry. Your way is definitely the right way. Who says gods don't make mistakes anyway? It's not difficult, you'll see. Just give it a try. What if you try and it doesn't work out? No, I don't believe that will happen. You've never let me down before. You don't seem the type. I used to be so naive. I genuinely believed I was on par with Rex Lapis. Seems I really overestimated myself. Yes, you're right. I have plenty of self-confidence in other areas, so why not in this? I can catch up with him. I will catch up with him. I just need to keep my chin up, keep trying, and keep learning. If a vision means the approval of the gods, then I don't see why I should want one. In fact, I find it quite insulting. It's like trying to say everything I've ever achieved is all thanks to the gods looking out for me. Well, I got to where I am today through my own hard work. The gods had nothing to do with it. Oh, so Rex Lapis wanted me to have power beyond the average mortal so that I can be a great leader? Huh. I like to think I do an admirable job even without his blessing. Yeah, I'll show him. I won't give him any reason to be disappointed with me. In addition to my work with the Liyue Keqing, I do a lot of work for the public too. Mostly the feedback is positive, but whenever I propose something like adding an extra hour to the workday, I come up against very strong resistance. I'm too forward-thinking, I suppose. Maybe I should start with a half hour instead. What do you mean, Geo-Archon paraphernalia? You're not suggesting my bedroom is full of that stuff, surely? I'm not a child anymore. Although... Okay, I did buy a couple of Rex Lapis figurines recently, but they're just to keep me on the straight and narrow. Look, just because I own an idol or two does not mean I idolize him, okay? I once heard a Mondstadt fable about courage being what it takes for birds to learn to fly. But I think you must first possess a yearning for the boundless skies before you would have any inclination, let alone the courage, to spread your wings and try to fly. For me, Liyue is that boundless sky. The gentleman from the Wangsheng funeral parlor? Clearly he's an extremely learned individual, and I do have a lot of respect for him. But his mindset is too traditional for me. He thinks in the same tired old terms as Rex Lapis did. If he were more of an original thinker, I'm sure he'd be a great asset to me in reaching my objectives. That captain is always flouting the rules, and her personality really rubs people the wrong way. That said, the Crux fleet is indispensable to Liyue Harbor. It's a bit of an art, knowing when to enforce the rules and when it's in everyone's interest to be more lenient. Thing is, the Tianquan is supposed to be the one enforcing the rules, but she always seems to be too busy. We do work together, but we couldn't be more opposite personality-wise. To her, Liyue Harbor is nothing more than a marketplace, and she'll do anything as long as it makes money for her. Doesn't she have any principles? Or maybe turning a profit is her principle. Since Rex Lapis left us, we've actually found some common ground. I was quite judgmental of her in the past, and we still fundamentally disagree on a number of issues. But in the current climate, I have to say I count her as a comrade in arms. Having said that, I ordered a Lucent Crescent from Mingxing Jewelry 3 months in advance, and when it was finally time to pick it up, they told me Ningguang had bought up the last few months' worth of Lucent Crescents for herself by paying double the price. She can be such a pain. You know what? I think her music rocks. Too noisy by traditional standards for sure, but I don't care. Good music is good music, and good music should reach the widest possible audience. Everyone has faith in Dr. Baiju's medical skills. He's the right guy to go to when you can't figure out what's wrong with you. Oh, the rumors, you say? The only one that I know for a fact is true is how disgusting his medicine tastes. It's not just the kids who find it bitter. It's left me with some horrible memories, too. Yeah, the up-and-coming chef from Wanmin Restaurant. I get that she's gifted and everything. I just think her cooking can be a bit hit or miss. I was all ready to hire her for a small banquet once and give her full control over the menu. But the amount of lizard and slime in her sample dishes quickly turned me off that idea. I've heard his story. He was born into a well-to-do family, but wasn't keen on the family business. So he now devotes his time to being an envoy of justice. I have huge respect for that. Not everyone has the guts to follow their dreams when it means breaking with the long-standing family tradition. I feel like now that we live in the age of mankind's rule, it's time for the legendary boy Adeptus to be released from duty. We no longer need a defender of that kind, because we are capable of working through the challenges we face on our own strength. Who knows what Rex Lapis must have done to inspire such blind devotion from Ganyu. But her reluctance to be critical is not without its advantages. In the workplace, she'll carry out my instructions to the letter, even when I can tell she has her reservations. It's a good attitude to have as a career professional. I find myself getting a second opinion from her a lot these days. Lots of things come up that I just have no idea about. And of everyone in Liyue, she's probably the most familiar with Rex Lapis. I feel a bit awkward, though, because I used to be openly disparaging of Rex Lapis in front of her. But she doesn't seem to mind, so I guess I've got nothing to worry about. When you're passing by Huyu Tea House and have to squeeze your way through the biggest crowd you've seen in your life, that's when you know Yunjin's on stage performing. There's not a merchant in Liyue who wouldn't buy up the place if they had the chance, and Yunjin's the reason it would be worth every mora. Since Rex Lapis left us, the question of Liyue's future has been on my mind constantly. In addition to reviewing his own past deeds, I've been researching the other Archon's modes of governance too. Mondstadt's god is the one who baffles me the most, though. How exactly do any of his actions contribute to the longevity of Mondstadt? It's completely beyond me. The way I see it, the law is a summary of things done the right way in the past. However, it should also be continuously adapted and improved to match the needs of the present. Given that Liyue is about to undergo a radical transformation, legal talent is in great demand. With an assistant like Yanfei, I could spare myself a great deal of trouble. Miss Yelan's ancestors used to serve the Qixing. My grandfather and her family have had academic collaborations in the past. All in all, she's reliable, efficient, and provides important intel to the Ministry of Civil Affairs. I can't say for sure how Miss Yelan actually gets her intel, however. You want to know more about me? Sure. Let's start with the principles that are central to the role of Yuheng. Once you've memorized the 100 or more contractual obligations of the position, you'll know my hopes and dreams like the back of your hand. Nothing exists independently, and there's nothing you can do to change that. So, when you drag your heels on one thing, you're actually causing chaos for a whole bunch of other connected issues too. That's why I firmly believe you should never put off until tomorrow what you can do today. I'm also a very impatient person and can't stand procrastinating, so that's also part of it. Never mince your words with me, okay? Yuheng's just a title. I'll not have you treading on eggshells around me just because of my status. Say what's on your mind, always. That's what makes you unique, and it's the thing I admire about you the most. We've been on our fair share of adventures together, haven't we? The more time we spend together, the more I think that you're the person of my dreams and... Huh? Why so shocked? You're a crucial part of my dreams for the new Liyue. The time has come for humanity to make its mark in the land of the Geo-Archon. Turns out that was quite an ambitious statement after all. But I want you to make me a promise. Come and visit when the new Liyue harbor is born. I will show you around. After all the help and support you've given me along the way, you deserve to see Liyue reborn with your own eyes. I owe you that much. That indulgent feeling of being spoilt for choice between countless different varieties. That to me is the appeal of shopping. It's great that the quality of life in Liyue is improving for everyone. But one downside is the growing number of people who are happy to reap the rewards without doing their fair share of the work. The Liyue Keqing did not put in all this effort to create a more prosperous society just so people like them can loaf around. It makes no logical sense to be greedy with food. But for me, all rationality goes out the window when there's golden shrimp balls involved. They're just irresistible. The taste of a single golden shrimp ball brings me so much joy that all the stress of work just melts away. Everything has a certain way it should taste. I won't touch anything that tries to break the mold, so no salted almond tofu for me. And no sweetened lotus seed and bird egg soup either. It's just a total waste of perfectly good ingredients. Yep, that's right. My favorite. The taste is fairly standard, but I can see you worked hard at it. It, seems quite a ways off from how it's supposed to taste. Happy birthday! I've got a very special gift for you. It might look like an ordinary old lantern, but this one runs on electro energy and stays alight for a really long time. For those times when you need a little extra light in your life. When your heart is set on something, you get closer to your goal with each passing day. Great. Having another trick up my sleeve gives me more flexibility in rapidly changing circumstances. Yesterday's experiences make me stronger today, and most of those experiences are ones that I share with you. I feel I have grown immensely from my travels with you. If, one day, I finally manage to make my dreams a reality, I wonder, will you still be there by my side? Incoming! Speed of light! Don't blink! Ha! Hey! Huh? Nowhere to hide. With sword comes shadow. cut to the chase. You give, you receive. Not bad, as far as treasure is concerned. That's everything. On to the next. One step back, two forward. Stronger than I thought. Change of plan. Take 5. I'll take over. Watch yourself. Right idea. Wrong time. I will not go quietly. What a letdown. I'll be fine. Got lucky that time. Let's go. Time is against us. Something's come up? Let's finish this quickly. I'm Kirara, a courier for Inazuma's Komani Express. Rest assured, there's no destination I can't deliver to. Uh-huh. My tails? Oh, I have them because I'm a yokai. Nekomata, to be specific. I wonder what's inside this package. No. No peeking at my customers' stuff. Let me see... Okay, let's get going. The next location on my list is really far away. Whoa, the scenery here is wonderful. I've landed the perfect job. Now my fur's all wet. Do you want a box to hide in too? I almost forgot how to speak like a human. It's so cold. Oh, my tails are turning into ice pops. I should have stayed inside near the fireplace. My fur won't get singed as long as I don't get too close to it, right? The sunlight feels really cozy. Napping in a tree would be nice. Just the thought of it is making me sleepy. Oh no! The smaller parcels are gonna get blown away! Sand's getting wedged into my paw pads. Feels kinda weird. Good morning. I saw that you hadn't woken up yet, so I went out and got you some food. Oh, don't worry. There aren't any squirrels or finches in it, even though they're delicious too. Let me sleep a little longer. I can't even lift my tails right now. Good evening. I'm all ready to head out. Huh? What do you mean it's time for bed? Nighttime's when I'm the most alive. I can travel faster and see better, and there are fewer people on the road too. Good night. Sweet dreams. Huh. That said, without two tails to bother you at night, I'm sure you have sweet dreams all the time. My boots? Oh, they're my paws, actually. I can use my yokai powers to turn them into human feet, but I feel way more at ease walking with my claws and paw pads. Don't touch them, please. They're ticklish. Granny named me Kirara. Back when I still had only one tail, Granny would give me head pats and chin scratches and tell me how bright and pretty my eyes were.
You travel far and wide, and I deliver packages all across the world. That makes us similar, don't you think? But although we both travel from one place to the next, my travel expenses are covered, while you have to pay for everything out of pocket. Uh-huh? No. I didn't mean to brag. I've met all sorts of people through delivery work. Some have become regulars of Komania Express, while others have become my friends. And I feel so lucky for that. Each delivery ends with the package reaching its destination. But our bonds with each other live on. If you ask me, friendships between yokai and humans aren't all that difficult to form. I still remember the first time I tried shapeshifting into human form using my yokai powers, thrilled at the thought of finally being able to experience the human world for myself. And before I knew it, my vision had appeared at my waist. Did this god have a profound desire to travel to all sorts of places too? Weapons forged by humans aren't bad at all, but I'd rather rely on my feline instincts sometimes. I mean, when there's a little finch right before your eyes, don't you just wanna creep up from behind, crouch really low on the ground, wait for the right moment, then pounce right on it? Not even successful package deliveries can compare with the satisfaction I get from hunting down prey. Granny told me that this was my favorite box to sleep in when I was little. It's kind of funny. Back then, all I knew about Komania Express was that their boxes were big and comfy, and if you told me that one day I'd make a living out of giving all their boxes away to other people, I'd have never believed you. Although it is definitely more of a squeeze trying to fit inside their boxes these days. What? What do you mean all the stuff in there already? No. I mean they're empty boxes. I'd never open a customer's parcel. Did you know that some houses in Sumeru are built atop trees? Oh, it'd be so nice to bathe in sunlight all day without having to climb down for food. Uh-huh? You already knew? Okay then. Do you also happen to know how they're built? I have claws and all, and even so, I felt really exhausted climbing up one of those tall trees to deliver a package. How were the building materials and furniture delivered up there when the people of Sumeru didn't even have claws to begin with? I don't get it. I got to see lots of big houses while delivering packages. Ones that were even bigger than Granny's house. Palace this, temple that, and there were countless smaller rooms in each of them. Wouldn't living in such a huge place make you feel a little empty inside, though? Having a place to eat in the morning, a place to sunbathe at noon, and a little box to rest in at night is more than enough for me. Does that mean big houses are just larger boxes for humans? Lady Miko is a widely renowned kitsune yokai in Inazuma, so it's natural for young yokai like myself to approach her with reverence. But contrary to my expectations, she was surprisingly amiable. She even came to visit me in person and taught me lots of useful stuff about how to survive in human society. Things like proper human etiquette, ways to approach people, and different fried tofu recipes. Huh? That last one was just for her? Parcels sent to Tenchukaku are all packaged intricately with multiple layers of wrapping. Maybe that's what they call a package fit for the almighty shogun. Oh, some of them smell really good. I wonder what's inside. I crossed paths with that detective a long while back. Once he learned that I was a Nekomata, he started asking me to investigate the whereabouts of missing cats. I was happy to help at first, but then I'd hear the cats say things like, "I just want to see the outside world," or "I get so bored when I'm at home." I felt bad for them. So I lied, telling him that I hadn't seen any cat at all. But it seemed like he could see right through me. I've always wanted to have a chat with the Lady Tengu. Maybe it's because she's the general of the Tenryou Commission, but I find her quite intimidating. so I've only ever watched her from afar. I'm just curious about her wings, you know? Are they ever an inconvenience? How does she deal with shedding feathers? Speaking of the feathers, I think lining my box with them would be super comfy. He's an Oni, but he gets along with humans perfectly. He even has his own gang. Oh, I'm so jealous. Maybe I should go ask him for some advice. So I met this magician in Fontaine who could make anything disappear, then make it reappear out of thin air. He must have used some kind of yokai power to make that happen, right? Is he a yokai too, then? She's really nice to me. I often ran into her in the past when she was out researching ways to make fabrics and develop color palettes. She was always worried that I'd leave claw marks all over her beautiful textiles. But come on, why would I do that to her? She's running a store in Fontaine now and sometimes asks me to deliver stuff to her. She even helped me tailor the clothes I'm wearing now. Granny told me many stories when I was a little kitten. About the yokai of Inazuma, the festivals held in the city, the delicacies of other nations. I would curl up on her lap and listen until I fell asleep. Even now, I still can't tell which parts of the stories were real and which were a part of my dreams. Being a courier is the perfect job for me. The Lady Kitsune told me that those who don't work can't fit into human society, and I'm not having any of that. That's why I've decided to take every delivery seriously. I'm not going back to the boonies, even if it means I get to be a great yokai or whatever. Maybe it's because I look like an easy target, but I often run into bandits when I'm on the road. But I always manage to chase them off. I don't go all out, though, because if the company was held liable for the injuries I caused, well, I'd get canned. Whenever I set foot in a new city, I always climb somewhere high up and gaze down at the scenery. Sometimes a breeze will pick up and the petals will float like crystal flies from one end of the street to the other. And when the sun begins to set, I'll find a nice spot to watch the city lights come on. From high up above, they look like flickering specks of sunlight dancing beneath the forest shade at noon. I could stay up there all day if I wasn't in a hurry to deliver my packages. I wish I could take Granny with me and show her all these things. It's really important to enjoy your life. In the last few days of a long-distance trip, or on a night when all my work's done, I'll always have a hearty meal at the busiest restaurant, then look for the most comfortable rooftop and feel the breeze on my face until I fall sound asleep. There are so many little joys in the world that deserve to be savored, and it'd be such a great loss if I didn't relish every one of them. Which is why I always pick the bones clean when I'm eating fish. I like delivering packages across the world. Whenever I see an address I've never been to before, I get so excited that I can't sleep. I just wish that I could be there right this instant. I grew up surrounded by forests and shrubs, and it gets boring pretty quickly. But things are different out here. There are so many things I've never seen before, and it feels like there's something new waiting for me around every corner. The life of a human may be full of surprises, but there are so many rules, too. Humans can't sleep on a roof, catch fish from a pond, or find a nice place to scratch and sharpen their claws. But as soon as I revert to my original form, no one bats an eye over any of these things. The trouble is that my Nekomata form attracts a lot of attention, so I can't just walk into a restaurant and order food the way a human would. When I was still a cat, I loved everything Granny made for me. I could gobble up an entire bowl in one go. As for now, sashimi platters are my go-to staple. With tender and fresh fish directly served on a plate, I don't even have to go through the hassle of removing the bones and scales. But the restaurant staff always gives me this strange look whenever I start working my way through the fish heads. Once, I was catching fish by the ocean when a crab caught me off guard and pinched my tails from behind. Oh, it hurt so bad. I thought they were gonna get snipped off. Ugh, why do people like eating crab anyway? They have so little meat, and their shells are so unbelievably thick. I can't even open them with my claws. Oh, and I can't stand anything hot either. I could hardly believe it when I learned there's a dish called butter crab. How do humans manage to eat something so hard and hot? Whoa, this is amazing! I've never tasted anything like this before. You wouldn't happen to be the great yokai of cooking or something, would you? Delicious! Is there more? I want to take some with me on the road. This reminds me of life in the wilderness. Happy birthday! It doesn't matter if you're a human or a yokai, coming into this world is always worth celebrating. If you want, I can take you to the place I grew up in. It's not bustling with people, and it's not all that interesting, but it always makes me feel relaxed. Oh, and I'll let you sleep inside my favorite box, too! Having a nap inside it always feels great! Ooh, I can feel my yokai powers growing! Huh? Are my tails getting longer, too? My body feels lighter. I feel like I could deliver 10 different packages in one go. Whoa, with this much power, I think even that kitsune yokai might need to watch out. Just kidding. It's not a competition after all. I'm just happy as long as I get to keep every customer's package safe. And you too, for always staying by my side. Oh, by the way, want to try touching my tails? I'm pretty sure they've gotten longer. Phew! Scratch that! Coming through! Express delivery! Service with a smile! Sign here, please! Wow! I've never seen half the stuff in here before! Did someone drop their package? Ooh, maybe I could curl up inside this box. Gotta watch the packages! Gotta find another route. Come hide in my box! I'll lend you a hand. Customers are still waiting. I'll be in my box. I'm gonna get fired. Ow! My tails! Hey, watch the packages! Anything you need delivered? Thank you for choosing Komaniya Express. All expenses paid travel? Count me in.